Tammy, are you ready to kick us off?
Yeah, we're going to give everyone about 1 more minute to log in, and then we're going to kick off our webinar today on Peehee Maha for the Red Road to DC. So if everyone just give us a couple more seconds, and then we'll start with an opening from Judith LeBlanc from the Native Organizers Alliance. Those of you who are joining us, please let us know where you're joining us from, your name and your organization, and the traditional lands that you're on today, joining us for this online event from Nevada. All right, thank you everyone. We're ready to get started. Today is the Nevada's virtual visit from the Red Road to DC, and here to open us up is Miss Judith LeBlanc. She's the Executive Director with Native Organizers Alliance and leading this extraordinary nationwide initiative.
Well, good evening or good afternoon to everyone. And it is such a wonderful moment to be together around this virtual fire. You know, the Red Road to DC is a cultural strategy, it's a narrative strategy, and it's an organizing strategy. It's weaving all of those strategies together in order to ensure that we lift up the urgent necessity for immediate action to protect sacred places. There are countless sacred places, but in the places that the Red Road will visit, they are the places that have come so far and yet need so much more to be done in order to be taken care of for our descendants. When we first began to talk about this journey, the Lamikavis said, we want to carve a totem pole that can represent the moment, the decision point that we're in, not only as Native peoples, but as a part of humanity that all have a common stake in the protection of Mother Earth. And in many ways, the Red Road to DC is trying to build on what has become the work of generations to protect sacred sites like Bears Ears, like Chaco Canyon, the Black Hills. And so we could not go with the totem pole to every area. We had to visit some places virtually, like the Arctic, Bristol Bay in Alaska, like the area of Mauna Kea, as well as other places. But the most important thing, I think, is that Nevada was included. Why? Because it highlights not only the struggle of tribal and Native peoples and community to protect sacred place, but because it highlights the dramatic collision course that we are on. That if mining and extractive fossil fuel industries are allowed to determine the future of Mother Earth, there will be none. We know that sacred places are being threatened by climate change and chaos, by careless development over time without concern about land or water and its impact the development will have on the future of that land and water, as well as careless, thoughtless government policies. But we're in a situation where the door is finally cracked open, that we do have the possibility of transformational policy change if we leverage the collective organizing that is being done on the ground, not just in the sacred places we're visiting virtually, but also those that we are visiting physically, and those countless sacred places across the country that are endangered. We need a fundamental change in federal policy. And so we're bringing this totem pole to DC to remind the Biden administration of their ancestral responsibilities to protect our right to the freedom of religion, our constitutional right. We are taking the totem pole to DC in order to say the time for us to be sitting at the decision table is now. How best to solve the problems of land and water and the right and freedom to religion than to have tribal nations sitting at the decision table. The UN offered up the solution of prior informed consent as the best way, the most democratic way for nations to relate to tribal and indigenous communities. And so in this journey, we're bringing the message also to the Biden administration that we're ready, that we're going to lean into the power, the inherent, the moral and the legal power that we hold as tribal nations and indigenous people to protect Mother Earth for all. I think that the issue of lithium mining in Nevada will help you all understand tonight why it is important that we are looking at the horizon, that we're protecting Mother Earth by looking at the horizon. There are short-term solutions that sound like they're going to ease us off of the total dependency on fossil fuel. But sometimes those solutions are false solutions and can create unintended consequences. And that's what the lithium mining in Nevada is all about. And I just want to end by saying there was an article in Forbes magazine last week or the week before about another lithium mining company who has decided, in order to skirt US restrictions that they feel are beginning to build, that they will attempt to drill in the ocean, in the area that is under international control and therefore has no restrictions. And they're not even sure if there's lithium, but they're even thinking about trying to destroy the sacred waters of the oceans. So tonight you will learn much. I want you to know that we wish we could come to Nevada and visit with you all. We are sitting now on Tuwamish territory in Seattle. There's a whole crew of people from Indian country that are outside in rented vans and cars waiting for us to get in them to head towards Lummi Nation, where tomorrow morning at 7, we will begin the Red Road to DC. We will begin in a good way with prayers, and we will begin understanding that each and every one of you will be with us on this journey. Please follow us. Our daily ultimate Indian road trip across the country for 3 weeks, and see on redroadtodc.org videos and live streams of the different ceremonies and gatherings all along the way from Lummi Nation to Washington, D.C. I also want you to know that we received confirmation that Madam Secretary Deb Haaland will be accepting and receiving the totem pole, the delivery of the totem pole on the National Mall on July 29th. So we hope you will tune in, come to DC July 29th, or tune into our live stream. So I have to say goodnight. I want to introduce someone who's an inspiration for me personally. I've known her for a few years, and I've known her parents, and they represent the kind of Indian commitment, Indian family commitment, and understanding that their family is whole only when they're within the circle of all families, of the entire community, and for Indian country as a whole. She was chosen as the was it the person of the year for being a water protector but we just know her as a badass community organizer. So Autumn Harry, I'm kicking it to you.
Thank you, Judith. Thank you for that introduction. Hi, everyone. Haumu na Autumn Harry Minani na Kuyui Papa na Nadawe na Kuyui Tikara Deneno. I will be moderating this event. And I just want to thank you all for coming. I also want to extend my thank you to Native Organizers Alliance for hosting not only the Road to DC, but also this panel event. And I especially want to thank the people of Red Mountain who are here to discuss the impacts on their homelands with this proposed lithium mine here in Northern Nevada. I am calling you all from Kuyui Papananata, which is Pyramid Lake, which is my homelands here in Northern Nevada. I am both Paiute and Navajo. And tonight, like I said, we're going to be discussing Peehee, also known as Thacker Pass, which is the homelands of the Fort McDermitt Paiute-Shoshone peoples, and also known as Nuwa homelands. So tonight we're really happy to have members of the community from Fort McDermitt, both elders and youth who are here to talk about what they're organizing and the work that's happening on the ground at Peehee. And next I want to introduce Myron Smart, who will be providing the blessing tonight.
Just give him 1 second, Autumn. He is just coming around the corner. 1 second.
Okay.
Keep that intro.
While we are waiting, I realized I did not say that our partners in the Red Road are Cecilia, a Lummi cultural organization, intertribal cultural organization, the House of Tears, the Lummi Carvers, the Natural History Museum, and Illuminative, a Native narrative change group. And I just can't tell you how working together in this circle has been such a powerful experience. Now that the pedal's going to be to the metal and the rubber on the road, we'll see if we did a good job. You'll tell us. You'll tell us. So thank you for letting me add that.
Thank you, Judith. And also while we wait for Myron, so just to give people a little bit of background, like I said, I'm from Pyramid Lake, and Fort McDermitt is about a 3-hour drive on the highway from where I live. But of course, we're relatives. This is all Northern Paiute, Numu, and Nuwa territory. And so I consider, our relatives at Fort McDermitt my family. And, we're connected. And since, this proposed lithium mine has come up, we've really been making sure that we're able to support our relatives as much as we can. And here's Myron.
Hello.
Introduce yourself. Introduce yourself.
Good evening, everybody.
Hi, Myron.
Yeah.
Hello. Nina, ni pabi jiwa sumi ni pia di jiwa sumi na tujuh jiwa sumi ya ke nekat ya rotu nekat na nispe ki sumi ya ke ripe na mini kamakul ke vi pa aku ke vi pihin na hawe na ni rekut ke rai bo gaji ya du kas chupi bo ko ni simi kuna me koine kona me koine sia na me sisiamo e tuni ni yeshi ka hina pisha na me jam tu hina pisha mamani puni kuna me pisha nana kabichi kuni nana kasati kun kai han ne kiripo pisha yeshi ni kuni tana ko mura na me shatu ko pisha ne kiripo kuni pisha kuni yeshi ni kuni tana kasati ya chamona ya nanispet kuyan namni kuso ay panigis inufuma bisa namida tamay kay kami shiray bokay hayudi ni tama botopugaro bisa isarat ko kumi ni unik ko ni nakabo kay kusi ni kumi ni nakabitsi siya ko kay no sa may kinipit ko kutima ma to wotsachi ba mi pana kini siya tamay tukar Should ko hima kena na orang itu kira bisa na to wotsachi ba mi susi kay ko di upan ko hima pisya tamay to so muskuli si ka bisa ta samara na mi siya ko bisa kiri ko so ito all my relation.
Pisha Myron, thank you. So just going off of what Judith had mentioned, my family's been involved in anti-mining since I was really young, and we follow really strong leaders like Mary and Carrie Dan, the late Mary and Carrie Dan. And so with this proposed lithium mine, you know, it's viewed as green energy, right? And people think that we need this green energy in order to shift away from the impacts of climate change, but also the way that they're digging up and excavating these areas, you know, it's degrading the lands of Duranda's people and Myron's people. And we have to ask ourselves, you know, with this green energy, whose homelands are being desecrated in the process. And so we've been really involved, and Duranda and I have been working together and trying to organize to begin building up the support surrounding Peehee. And we're wanting more and more people to travel to that area to actually see how beautiful it is and to hear from the elders about the stories and the traditions surrounding that area. And, you know, the people there are still very much connected to that place. And when you're there, it's very evident, and you can see that connection. And so I've been working closely with the Progressive Leadership Alliance of Nevada, who has my mom also works for them. She's a Native community organizer, and there's also Ian Bigley, who is the mining justice organizer. And so those two I work really closely with. And so we've been working with people of Red Mountain to really, again, I think it's really important to have that Indigenous-led leadership and knowledge to be able to carry this work forward. And so we're trying to support people of Red Mountain as much as possible. And so I think someone can drop in the chat. They have a petition, and also they're raising money to support the work that they're doing. And I'm sure Duranda could speak about that more here in a little bit. But we do have a video that we would like to show, and I believe someone is going to push play on that. Thank you for sharing that video. So that video was created by people of Red Mountain. And as you can see, it's a beautiful ecosystem. We actually had the honor to be able to witness the sage grouse there back in early spring. And it's an ecosystem that the sage grouse, who of course are threatened on being on the endangered species list, they're just these magnificent, beautiful birds, and a mine would completely destroy that ecosystem, and they already have limited habitat. And of course, you saw that with this proposed mine, it would bring in man camps, and it would bring in an influx of men to this area where there are Indigenous communities. And so that's a big concern that we have as Indigenous women. And we've been organizing around missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, Two-Spirit, and trans relatives. And we, say no to this mine because all of those communities are in danger when you bring in these different man camps to this area. And so we actually had a rally in Reno about 3 weeks ago now, and it was led by Indigenous women, myself, Duranda, Jolie Varela, and my mom, Beverly Harry. And our focus was making sure that we're uplifting the people of Red Mountain, and we're uplifting the Indigenous voices that are most impacted by this proposed lithium mine. And so we spoke about this issue to missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit relatives, to this large urban population that lives within Reno and Sparks. And it was really special because we had a wonderful turnout. There were about 300 people who attended. And at the end, we had this really large round dance. And I think, those round dances really signify our connection to each other, and that we do need each other within this work to support and uplift the work that we're all doing. And we especially need non-natives to step up and to reach out to your senators and your Congress people, and to use your voices to say no against this lithium mine. And so I'm really happy to introduce Duranda. I consider her a sister, and like I said, we've been working really closely together, organizing, and she is someone that I really support and again want to uplift and also help in any way that I can. So I'll go ahead and pass it to you, Duranda.
Thank you, Autumn, and introduction. Hi, everybody. My name is Duranda, and I am a Fort McDermitt Paiute-Shoshone Tribe member. I am currently on Fort McDermitt land, Wood land, and so I just want to thank everybody that has talked for us, Gonna talk. I really appreciate having this opportunity to be on here and talk to everybody about Peehee or Thacker Pass. And so I'm also a part of the people of Red Mountain, or Itsakurakwa with Newwood, and that's just a committee from Fort McDermitt tribal members who just wanted to get together up against not only this Thacker Pass lithium mine, but there's another lithium mine in our area. It isn't lithium mine for Generally Resources Limited. Yeah, just one step at a time, but we decided to put this group together because we needed a community tribal voice, and we wanted to be part of these conversations. And we want, stand up for, the Mother Earth. And thank you, Judith, at the very beginning for setting tone, because it's so true, and something that we might forget. Yeah, we put that community together, and since then we've been just growing our opposition, people connecting with this, wanting to come up to Peehee or go to these events. Good. We feel like this good energy on us. We've had all of those events that put up. They were all really great. I've always came from
Did we lose Duranda?
I think so. She's frozen for me.
Okay, maybe we could, when she reconnects or has a better connection, we can come back to her. Duranda's voice is really valuable. Oh, Duranda, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, but can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I think if you leave off your video, we can hear you well.
Oh, yeah, sounds good. I'm not sure where I left off, but I was just saying that, we've had the horse ride event, and that's from Orvada, Nevada to Thacker Pass. And so that was about a 20-mile horse ride, and it was really, really great. We had all horses that, a bunch of kids on the reservation have learned to ride horse on. And we had about 4 riders, all related, and it was a really beautiful. We had so much support, and we also had Autumn and her crew rode not a horse, but they rode a bike, and it was pretty because it's another form of nation, and so I really appreciate them standing in solidarity with us. And so yeah, I just want to bring to light said the MMIW, we had that event, and it was really great. And so that's just something we continue to write and talk about things because it does affect our communities. These are people that we, they're hurting, and continuing this opposition with this Thacker capacity in mind, because again, what Autumn said earlier is that we got to think about who it's affecting. And I don't want this lithium mine to be stopped and then it just go to another indigenous land or somebody else. I don't want that to happen. And so maybe we really need to think as a society if lithium is really the way to go. And obviously that, just requires education and those conversations. And so that's something that we're here doing right now. And so I thank you again for opening up this space for me. And I will leave it at that. But if there's anything else that I should talk about, please let me know. But I just want to mention that you guys can give our Facebook page a follow, our Instagram page a follow. I'll put it in the chat. We really appreciate that. And we do have a petition still going out, as well as a GoFundMe. We would like anyone to stand with us in however way they possibly can. The littlest to the smallest, we appreciate everything. And not in a million years would I be able to, think that I would be on the Red Road to DC webinar. And so I think this is a really amazing opportunity. I'm so thankful for it. So I'll give the floor back, but thank you again.
Thank you, Duranda. And so Duranda spoke about the horseback ride that they did. That was really beautiful to witness as well. And like Duranda said, we actually rode our bikes 20 miles downhill and met the riders, and then they went uphill to the camp. So we were definitely in solidarity with them, but not as skilled on horseback. So next we're gonna show the horseback ride video so you can get a sense of some of the organizing that's happening on the ground.
Really appreciate it. So what's gonna happen today is real quick. Us riders are gonna ride from here. Kenny's gonna sing us out of here, sing an honor song, a prayer, a blessing on our way. And then in camp, the drum group's gonna walk us to camp. But by 3 o'clock, depending on how far we've gotten, I'll send the rest of the riders on and I'll do it on my own. Okay? So then everybody will go to camp. You guys can eat, sing, dance, whatever you want to do. So from here, I'm gonna give it to Kenny.
Thank you. You know what these guys are doing is a noble thing. It's an honorable thing. And to every generation that's here right now, we're passing this message on. How to handle these things, how to handle these situations. But right now, it's in an awareness, right now, what it can do, what the damage is gonna be, what the long-term effects are, what the short-term effects are. There's that illusion of jobs and money, but it doesn't talk about the long-term effects. Sure, it might be accommodating to have the electric car, but look what over time, look what it's all these corporations have done to the land already. So this is just the beginning of what's in store. So again, I'm going to reiterate, we show our children and each generation that's here how to handle it, not through violence, but awareness. People are scared when they act in violence. It's a reaction. Violence is a reaction. Fear is a reaction. If they've not taught any other way, that's how they're going to react. So, showing everybody, these little ones, and to the elder, to the most eldest one here, we show each generation, this is how you handle it. This is how you handle it when you get scared, when you're frightened, when you feel like raising your hand. There's other ways, and this is just one of them. So I'm going to sing this song, and you pray the best way you know how, through your heart. Clear your mind and clear your heart. It's the only way this is going to work is through prayer, and that's what we're showing everybody today.
So that was the horseback ride that took place back in, I believe that was in May. And And since then, just while we've been on this call, I've been thinking about all of the different events that have been happening. And this past weekend, we were actually out at the camp and we organized a MMIW sunrise walk. And so we had, many of us woke up around 5 or 5:30 and we all gathered as a group around 6 a.m. and had a sunrise prayer, and then we marched together. And I was really proud of the young, there were two young women who got up at 4 a.m. and put on their regalia and danced for us first thing in the morning. And I was really proud of them. And I'm just really proud of all of the youth that are stepping up. And I want to introduce our next youth speaker, to Kayla Antonio, who is a member of the Fort McDermitt Paiute-Shoshone Tribe.
Hello everyone, I'm Tequila Antonio. My Indian name is Morning Song Bird Woman. I'm from the Paiute-Shoshone Tribe. I'd like to say good afternoon to you all and thank you for inviting me onto this webinar today. So I would like to thank Duranda for coming up with the youth committee and asking me to lead that committee for the people of Red Mountain. Let's see. And so I've been trying to get more involved in this, in protecting like today, One Source Network, and helping me get involved with it more.
Kayla, how many other youth are in your group?
There are, I think there's only, I'd say about one more other person that I know of right now.
And do you know of any other events that are happening that people of Red Mountain might be organizing?
There is going to be, hold up, let me show you. There's gonna be a run on, I think, July 20. All I know is that there's going to be a run that Jolene Snap is going to be hosting from Winnemucca to Thacker Pass. And that's pretty much all that I know right now. Yeah, that's all that I have.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
We're really glad that you're there and advocating for the lands of your communities. And Duranda, if you're still on, would you be able to kind of talk a little bit about how we can all support people of Red Mountain? I know that there's, I think within the chat, we've dropped the GoFundMe and also the change.org petition. But of course, there's a really important date that's coming up, and maybe Duranda, you could speak about that more. But that's July 29th, which is just a week and a half out. And so we're really trying to get more folks from Nevada, from all over, to really come and support the camp during that time. And yeah, Duranda, could you speak on that a little bit more, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks to Kayla for joining on. I appreciate it. And so yeah, some of the events that are coming up, we have a July 21st, I guess, rally, kind of just a gathering at the Reno Federal Court building. That's when they will decide whether or not they will push forward with July 29th, excavating cultural sites. There's 55 cultural sites up there. And to me, it seems as if they're continuing to diminish, Native oral history about these places. And so, they're not listening to our voice, and we really would like to have Far Western Archaeological Company, start saying no or start listening to our voice or reach out to us, because it seems as if, uh, there's a disconnection there. And so July 29th, we are asking for people to come and stand with us at Peehee and camp there for as long as you can, starting maybe the day before, day after, really just getting people there on the ground. And so we also are trying to establish an Indigenous-led camp. And yeah, we have a few people there now, and so we're trying to get more Indigenous people there from all over, all of our relatives. And so thanks again for giving me the opportunity to speak on that. Again, there is the Protect Peehee Facebook page. There's the petition, as well as there is also an Amazon list, and that's kind of more dedicated to people wanting to buy just specific donations, such as like camping gear for establishing our Indigenous-led camp, and then also our GoFundMe. And so, we're really counting down those days to July 29th, and we're really hoping to get, some people out there. So again, thank you for, giving me the floor to talk about some of these things, and I'll give it back to you.
Thank you, Duranda. And you can also look up People of Red Mountain on Instagram, and they're posting on there frequently to update folks on what's happening. We have one last video to show that was also made by people of Red Mountain, and it's titled "Consultation is Not Consent." Oops, sorry. I was on mute. So next we're going to open up for questions. And I know that there's multiple ways that people are tuning into this meeting. But if you're in the Zoom, you can ask a question in the chat. And I know that people are also monitoring the Facebook and the YouTube live stream. So now is your chance to ask some questions. And also to Kayla, if you can, Kayla wants to say a few more words, if you're able to tune in to Kayla.
Hey, I'm sorry about that. I was in the car, so I got kind of nervous. I like to say thank you once again for letting me onto this webinar. I'm happy that I'm able to be involved with things like this, and it's a very great experience, especially since I'm straight out of high school. Um, I would like to see more of our youth members get involved with protecting Thacker Pass and learning more of the traditions as they are like slowly disappearing from us, and we need to carry it on and keep it going. I would like I was like hold up, I'm trying to find the right words right now. I would also like to thank my mom for teaching me like the ways, like what she's learned through her grandma, and helping me learn so I could teach my kids when I decide to start my own family, and it could pass it down to our next generation. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you to Kayla. And we really appreciate your leadership as well. And I'm sure that more youth will get involved. Your voice is really important, and hopefully we can get more youth from all of our communities to get involved in this work. Is anyone else seeing any other questions on the Facebook or YouTube? Oh wait, there's some. Okay, so there's a question for the panel. Can you talk more about the connection between electric car batteries and the mining that they want to conduct in Thacker Pass? Duranda, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, I think I can answer that as well. Yeah, I think I can answer that best I possibly can. Yeah, so we see that connection with the lithium powered cars and batteries. So mines are going to go up for that as well. And so we see this can increase of not only lithium, but the other for these batteries. And so, you know, they're really trying to push for these electric car batteries. And we have a Tesla manufacturer just about hours away from Peehee. And that's really where it's going to go. It's going to go to Tesla. It's going to go to Elon Musk. And so we see, you know, that connection right there. And yeah, I guess you can see some pros in the electric car vehicles, but that battery goes out, it goes out. And so right now there's not a lot of thing for lithium powered batteries. So like that was kind of another question when I first into this was, you know, is there money in recycling those kind of batteries? And really there's not. And so there'd be a big push for that. And so sorry if I didn't answer that maybe to your exact liking, but please let me know in the comments. Okay, so I also see something in the comments. It says, please include updates on temperature and possible fires in an event info. And so touching on that for the camps up there, it is hot. Right now, it's a little bit smoky from a few fires to the west into the south. And so, you know, prepare Bring canopies, some kind of shade shelter. Like that's really important up there. And make sure you come self-reliant, bring lots of water, those kinds of things. It is very windy up there. So, prepare for, loud noises with the tent, those kinds of things. But really, most importantly, is to stay safe from the heat and bring lots of water.
Great, thank you, Duranda. I also think that's an excellent recommendation. We do need to be including the fire danger on our event info. And we have about 2 minutes left, but I saw another question that was asking about the Eagle take permits. And so I brought my mom on because she has been organizing on the Eagle take permit. And the question is, they're curious about the Eagle take permit and trying to understand what it means for Deb Halen. So you can go ahead and answer.
Okay, so my name is Beverly Harry. I work as the Native Community Organizer for the Progressive Leadership Alliance of Nevada. So I've been working on the one aspect of the permitting issues for Thacker Pass. And one of those issues is that there has to be a record of decision that is considered with U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. And that means that they have to come up with a consensus as to whether they're gonna be providing a Eagle take permit to Lithium, Nevada for them to proceed with the project. Now, there's a piece of this puzzle, all of these things are really, really complicated. The tribes can ask for formal consultation before the record of decision is completed. And so I've gone through, Moapa, Las Vegas, Paiute Tribe, Go-Shoot, McDermitt, Pyramid Lake, Paiute Tribe, Walker River, Urington, as many tribes as I could possibly get to request a formal consultation for that Eagle take permit. That means that the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service would have to respond to all of these requests, and with the number of requests that are being gathered, it has brought some concern to U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. They are concerned because there are so many tribes asking for this formal consultation, and it's enough where it has alerted Deb Halen possibly to come and review the situation. And we're asking U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service along with NCAI to deny the Eagle take permit. Now, there are so many processes that the tribes had to go through. They still have to go through formal consultation, including the McDermitt Paiute Tribe. And so they've asked for that formal consultation, and probably a dozen or more. But I guess the end result is, we're still in that process, and we're going to leave it up to Deb Halen to make that determination. And I hope she's not. I hope she backs up the Native people, because Biden is hitting really, really hard on green energy. So I'll go ahead and leave it at that. I know you guys have to break off of this call.
Okay, thank you for that. So it is about 6:01, and I want to be respectful of everyone's time. And again, thank you to Native Organizers Alliance, people of Red Mountain, all of the panelists for attending, and also all of the attendees. Tammy, is there anything else you needed to add before we hop off?
No, just thank everyone for their time tonight. Please follow redroadtodc.com online and on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I think this was actually the very first national event that we have, because the Lummi Nation is next with the physical visit. So appreciate everyone's time tonight, and thank you, Autumn, and the panel, and the people of the Red Mountain. Everyone have a good night.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Thanks, Amy.